Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's going to be recording this episode from inside an abandoned diner outside of the Mojave Desert. It's
Don't know
Nathan
how.
LaHaye.
We got no power. I don't know how we're doing it. I banged down that TV. We're trying to get to all the radio stations. Nothing's happening. It's almost apocalyptic, one might say. Oh, watch out now.
Would you stop hitting that TV, Nathan?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have a relationship. Okay? We have a relationship.
Like Freddy Krueger is going to come out of that thing and
Exactly.
just grab you one day. Welcome to
I
prime
did,
time.
dude. I did have a flashback to Dream Warriors when Bettany threw it onto Duran's head, but we'll get to that later on in the episode. What are we talking about here, Mark? What are we alluding to?
I've been doing this podcast for 8 years, 500 plus episodes, not even counting like Final Fights and Deep Blue Sea and Con Air and the bonus episodes and all that.
Listen,
and,
just get that arm over your shoulder and slap really loud. Okay, you don't have to go through the number. Just like give it a nice thwack.
I'm telling you, I have always wanted to do Legion versus Priest or Priest versus Legion. Doesn't matter where you put it.
Battle of the Bettany's.
Yeah, the Paul Bettany religious action films that have at the longest run 90 minutes, at the shortest run 80 minutes. They both don't really end. They allude to sequels of further Mad Max style battles and further vampire battles.
For sure.
Paul Bettany goes rogue in both of them. He goes rogue from the clergy in Priest. He goes rogue from God in
rogue
Legion.
From the Lord.
And his name is Michael, or his name is Priest. And so he has religious tattoos in Legion. He has religious tattoos in Priest. And it's all because he teamed up with this director called named Scott Stewart, who did visual effects on gigantic films. He was a visual effects artist. He's been wanting to make movies for a while. This movie Legion apparently had a much bigger budget, and Scott Stewart was like, listen,
you can tell not only with the cast but also like how things were shot and just like everything else,
and listen, like, so I did all the research on these, and what's crazy is that Legion's budget is only, let's see, where's my notes? Legion's budget is probably about $25 million. So like it's not a big budget movie.
Yeah.
It's a smaller budgeted sort of, it's a siege thriller essentially. So it was $26 million budget. And then Legion's budget was Priest's budget was 60 million. Legion's budget was 26 million. So they're relatively mid-budget, mid-range.
Oh, that was it? I thought that it was reversed. I thought Legion had because you add in, Randy Quaid, Randy Quaid's paycheck, and then you get Charles S. Dutton in there, which I forgot both of those guys are in the movie from the first time I initially saw it. But I mean, you can tell where they kind of cut corners a little bit. When I was watching it, I remembered back we had talked about you and I when we did our final fight with He-Man and Skeletor, and we were talking about the He-Man and how like you could tell when that movie lost its money, like they were just down to down to fumes. And I had a flashback to that on all the roof scenes where all they had were like the little couple letters from Paradise Falls and then blackness behind them, and I was like, oh, there it is. That's how they. That's how they kept it. That's how they kept it low.
That's why you hire a VFX guy to make the movies. They're like, okay, I can make this work. I can do this. And listen, both of these movies, man, I don't think they're great. And I hate saying that.
I agree because they're not. However, they're fun.
So I did some math. I analyzed over 1,000 R-rated action films, and I realized that there's only a handful of them that have tomato meter scores above 90, IMDb scores above 8, Letterbox scores above 4, and Metacritic scores about 70. So over 1,000, 0.5% have like greatness. So that's why when people are like, it's not great, I'm like, yeah, but like so few movies are. So these movies aren't quote unquote, they're not mid-range. Like they're not, like, I wouldn't say they're as good as like a 30 Days of Night or a Dog Soldiers, right? But they're I remember being very, like, I was very interested in Nicolas Cage's action run in the 90s because I was like, the dude from Trapped in Paradise and Leaving Las Vegas is now Cameron Poe, and he's in Face Off, and like it really like blew my mind.
How could you not? He was in The Rock. I'll watch it. Like I will drop. There are certain movies that I will drop. Like no matter what I'm doing, I could be tutoring my kids. I could be like in the middle of emergency surgery. And if something shows up on TV, one of which is The Rock, I was like, oh, guess I'm watching this now. That's one. So yeah, I completely understand the Nick Cage action series, gravitational pull, so
it
to
just
speak.
it just had me. And then so all of a sudden Paul Bettany is making an action run.
Chaucer?
And
Chaucer's an
exactly.
action star?
Yeah, the guy from Knight's Tale is in Beautiful Mind is doing making an action run. I mean, I liked him in Master and Commander, but he was more Darwinian than
Joke's
anything.
on us. Now he's Vision.
Yeah.
We were all fooled for so many years.
I just think that when Legion came out, so this is the episode. It's Legion versus Priest. We have categories. When we leave this episode, we're gonna have a winner between the two. So I just want to lay down some like quick facts about these movies. So Legion, what's interesting, Legion has a 5.3 IMDb score and a 20% Rotten Tomatoes score. Priest has a 15% tomato meter score and a
Lordy.
5.7, but it has a 5.7 IMDb. So it's
Okay.
audiences on IMDb prefer Priest, but critics prefer, I mean, it's 20%, but they prefer Legion.
Yeah.
So like both movies kind of flip flop in my brain. And so I actually established 10 criteria, 10 categories, and it's tied 5-5 right now. So that's why you and I are going to do this. And listen,
I
man,
think it's your. Well, I think we should just start right here. We should start with making a call, just like right off the hip. Just be like, what movie? Just like not even thinking about the facts, like just watching, because I watched both movies within like a 4-day span. So that I know they're fresh in my mind. I know they're fresh in your mind. Out of watching both back to back, which one, just like right off the top of your head, you're like, this one,
Priest.
I could watch. Really? Okay, I'm Legion. There we go. We're already. I love it. We're already right in. And for people like you guys pre-planned, we didn't pre-plan
No,
shit.
we know.
Number one, Mark. So I want to say this, Mark. I usually take these things really seriously. I come in with like a big old clipboard full of notes. I was like, Mark does his all of his research. I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I have nothing in front of me right now. I watched both movies. I was like, I'm gonna wing it. So therefore, when he's like, I like Priest, I like Legion, totally off the hip. So there's no pre-planned anything.
Yeah, and it's just and normally I don't like it when my guests do no research, but this episode calls for it, and you do the work and other things. So I just want to let everyone know that we're not the podcast where people are like, I don't even know the characters' names.
I want to know the facts.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place.
No, I got the facts. I actually did the research.
Oh, you're right. Correct. Yeah. I shouldn't discredit Mark.
Yeah.
He, journeyed and found the distance that Tom Cruise ran in all of his movies. So I shouldn't discredit anything that Mark has done in the past or will do in the future. He's a savant with the research on the movies and the ridiculous things we decide to do. So yes, absolutely. Let's go into it. So Mark is Team Priest, just like Twilight. He's Edward. I'm Jacob with Legion. We're gonna do it.
Well, so this is where it's tough for me, right? Priest is 80 minutes without credits, and I like Maggie Q a lot. I just like the story. So basically, there are these priests, and it's Judge Dredd, it's Mad Max, it's
hilarious. So yeah. I think I texted you. I was like, this is Catholic Judge Dredd. Yeah. It's the exact same. Like you got the stronghold, like things are not great in there. You've got they even call it the wasteland. There's a wasteland going out. The priest is like thrown out by the Monsignor as opposed to like the prime judge. Well, I was like, damn, this is Catholic Judge Dredd. And I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. I was like, telling him what we were doing. And I was like, this is Catholic Judge Dredd. And he goes, oh, you mean in comparison to Bible Terminator with Legion? And I was like, that's actually pretty accurate too. So yeah, we have the Bible Terminator versus Catholic Judge Dredd.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because Scott Stewart straight up said I steal from the best. Like he's made it
there you go
so clear in both interviews. He's like, I didn't have much time for these. And I'm a VFX guy. So he's like, I love Assault on Precinct 13. I love siege thrillers, and I'm just gonna make this. And also too, like he with Priest, it was based on a Korean comic of the same name. So it's like he had these are very derivative movies. But that's why I kind of like him. Like he had two movies back to back that were just wildly derivative, but they both have moments in them that I keep coming back to and liking. Like, so I think Legion looks better, and I think Legion has some really good moments. But my problem with Legion is that it's a classic like VFX first time director where there's so many unnecessary shots that only exist because they're cool. Like it's you watch it and it's like, yeah, like, but there's the problem is there's some very memorable visuals in
Mm-hmm.
Legion. There's some very like I remember watching the trailer. I mean, just watching the scene with Gladys Foster when she comes in there. My Tokyo Drift and Too Fast Too Furious guys are in here. Doug Jones, our man Doug Jones, in there, one of the
Oh
best
heck yeah.
great hugging
Oh,
guy.
gave me a great neck massage.
Yeah,
My
right.
first time ever volunteering at a con.
Yeah,
Yes, love Doug Jones.
wonderful guy. Uh,
Absolutely.
but like when you think about it, like when Gladys comes in, and then the ice cream man, and then the kid, it's like just throw fire at the play. It's just it's all and even too. So I did a list. I set up a list of siege thrillers that I adore with kind of supernatural bents to them, and so
Hmm.
it's like Night of the Living Dead, Prince of Darkness, From Dusk Till Dawn, Dog Soldiers, The Mist, 30 Days of Night, and then Legion. I would put Legion last.
You could even throw the new Evil Dead in there.
Yeah, evil. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
yeah, like, but see, even no matter how much I add, I think Legion would still be at the bottom. But I'll still watch Legion.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't dislike Legion, but it's one of those movies that I like when I think about, and then I watch it and I'm like, oh, but I do think like, so, or I'm just gonna go over my categories,
Let's
Nathan.
do
Just
it.
like, okay,
Just jump in.
okay,
Let's
and
get
then
it.
you can go
Get
over
it
yours.
going.
So I'm gonna say
We've been talking about it for 15 minutes. Let's just get to the nitty gritty.
okay,
Let's
here
do
we
it.
go. So Better Bettany, I'm gonna say is Legion because in Priest, he's just very stoic. He's way too stoic. Like Maggie Q, who's like the best person ever. She's awesome. She's like, hey man, I love you. And he's like, I just can't do it. Like that's him the entire movie. Like,
Yeah, let's
I
let's
just
touch
can't.
let's touch base on that just for 1 second because there was a moment in Priest where she was like almost so happy that his wife that he couldn't see for what was it like 20 years like
Dead.
here's yeah dead gone and she was mourning but so hopeful that he would bang her
Yeah.
after that like it was just like it just came out and I was like that's not the time now or ever
Yeah. And
um
she's like,
man
I've been having these dreams, but not those kind of
have
dreams.
nightmares all the time. They're bad, but when the dreams are good, and then she just trails off and has that like 5 mile stare.
Yeah.
You know, we all know what she's thinking about. We all know what's going on in those dreams. But
And
then she just comes out and says it at one point, like, "Yeah, now that your wife's dead, I really hoped. Okay, let's go kill this
yeah.
vampire."
And then they're also like, listen, like, the church has disavowed us, so we no longer have to deal with our vows of
Yeah,
celibacy because we've
what?
been disgraced. So
Yeah.
now, like, let's go next to this burning train, and let's yeah. Okay, so better, but in Legion, right? Like, I think Bettany, he still does the stoic thing,
Mm-hmm.
but he has some crying scenes. He has some good speeches. Like
Mm-hmm.
he makes monologues, and like it was my first time seeing him as action, like super action Bettany. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Legion. Now, when it comes to better movie, oh, who would you pick? Legion or Priest? Better
I
Bettany.
think I think it's a toss up with Better Bet because like in
You
Priest
and I
there
are opposites on
well,
everything,
they're
and I
definitely
love
one.
it.
Okay. If you want my for sure, like go to be all end all, I'll still go Legion. But there were some good moments with both. Like Legion had, I think it was just overall kind of better acting. He had kind of a better character going on. There were like those monologues that he had with Jeep and other things about like your why I still have faith in humanity, and those were like just really well done. But there were certain moments in Priest that were really fun too, like and it could have just been like the actiony stuff or going through, but like he had more of a badass demeanor in Priest than I think he did in Legion. Like there were the things where he's sitting there in the bar and he's had his rosary and he's like really going. And he's like, if to defy the church is to defy God, and you can't go after your daughter and all this stuff. And well then I defy God. And he breaks that thing and like just takes out the 12 different like heavily armed guards. Or when he's saying the prayer out of the book when he opens up the book is they walk the
And he
valley
has
of the
his
shadow of death. He
crossblades in there.
throws up the blades. I was like, that's pretty badass. But yeah, I think overall with just everything involved, I think that Legion he was better in, but I think that his character was more of kind of a badass in Priest.
He's very
So
Mad
that's why I say
Maxian.
it's a toss up. between the two. And also I think I could watch him more in Legion without rolling my eyes and heavy sighing as much as I would in Priest. So I think that's where my allegiance goes in that
Oh
category.
no, allegiance. That so yeah.
Allegiance.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go to better movie,
Okay.
which I kind of want to further. Well, you know what? Let's do that last. I'm gonna do better villain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna do better villain, and I think it's Legion by like 14 miles because as much as I love Carl Urban and Black Hat, I don't know. I think Kevin Durand. I like Gabriel and I like his little spinny axe thing. Like it's like the Swiss Army knife of axes. And I like Gladys Foster when she comes in with her steak and she's like, "You're
Yeah.
all gonna burn." And I like the minivan
Them
boy
babies, they're all just gonna burn, dearie.
and
Oh
like
yeah.
just minivan boy who is just come get me, like Roman from Too Fast Too Furious, and
Yeah.
Doug Jones is the ice cream man who does nothing other than look cool and get shot. But
The only one that transmorphs his body, which we could get into that a little bit later. Well, fuck it, let's get into it
yeah,
now.
they had budget for one person, so
One person, and it's funny because I was like, oh, angels are possessing people and they're doing this, and you can tell they get the big black eyes and the baby or the shark teeth, the baby teeth, whatever
show
they
me your
call them.
teeth.
Show me your teeth. But why is Doug Jones the ice cream man is the only one that like his limbs grow and he goes into a big giant spider and his jaw unhinges and no one else does that. Even Gladys that goes in, like she does her little spider crawl, up the walls and things, but she doesn't like completely transform or like disfigure her body.
Yeah, and listen, budget
Was that just a special angel?
25. Yeah, exactly. Well, there's so many.
Doug the
Like,
angel just got a little weird in his experimental days.
well, you know what's interesting? I think there's tiers, right? Because in Legion, there's that giant hive guard that
Oh
watches
yeah.
it, and then there's the
Mm-hmm.
familiars, and then there's the vampires, but then there's the
Mm-hmm.
queen.
Yeah.
In Legion, I think there's like the war pigs or war dogs, which are just the mindless zombies who can drive cars, but for some reason they just stand motionless
Yeah.
when they're outside of places. And then
And
there
for some
are
reason decide to pick the most like stereotypical bad guys to possess with the mohawks and the spiky, denim jackets and crap.
yeah, it just and then you have the Gladyses, the ice cream man, and the minivan boy who
Mm-hmm.
seem like I don't think they're generals of hell or heaven. I think they're more like they're I don't know. Yeah, so I think they're probably heaven officers or heaven sergeants.
I think sergeants would be good.
Yeah.
That leaves enough between general and the lackeys,
and
you
and then
know.
and then you get to the big boys, the Gabriel and the Michaels, and
Yeah.
when the baby is born, the minor angels can't touch the baby, but Gabriel can. So I do like that in these two movies there are these hierarchies established. I think that there's some interesting things going on, like with the queen. Both see the problem with these movies is both of them they have very interesting ideas and world building,
Mm-hmm.
and they just never fully mesh for me. But I love them. I
Yeah.
have an odd relationship, but I
Both of
like
them
they tried.
leave way too many questions at the
Yeah.
end of it to be like, why I don't know how I fully feel. But let's get back to the main question that we're gonna hear. So better villain. So we're talking about just overall like the vampires and Black Hat and the Queen, or then and comparative to the
Yeah.
lackeys and the sergeants, or are we just saying like Gabriel and Black Hat? Because
Oh,
those were
then
the two
Gabriel.
main that we're
Yeah.
looking at.
Then
Okay.
Gabriel. Yeah.
Okay. I adore Kevin Durant. Anything he's in, he's fabulous. He like Walking Tall, like him in Legion versus him in Walking Tall versus him in Smoking Aces. He's always so different, but he's always so memorable in whatever he does, and I love him for it. But I will say, just like what are we ranking on? Right? What's more memorable about
Well,
it, or what is this going through? I think presenting just like how it is, Carl Urban with his just like chunk out of the hat where you only see the one eye, and just like how he's like dancing and like friggin' like orchestrating through the massacre. For some reason, for me, just comparing those two, he stands out more than me, even though I love Kevin Durant so much. And maybe as I was watching it again, maybe it's because Kevin Durant, I know he was trying so hard to be just very angelic and changing his voice up because he's usually kind of like just like gruff, like I'm on a that it was so different that I almost didn't believe it. but yes, I loved his fighting style and the mace and the razor wings and everything else. But I think I may have to say, for me, that I go along with Black Hat.
Oh, wow. Black Hat's like all tropes. Like we know nothing about Black Hat other than just like, hey, the queen got me. And she was like, hey, man, like come work for
Well,
me. And then
if you
like,
go the same thing with Gabriel, it's like I give God what he wants.
yeah,
I
but
don't question, which is also kind of a trope. The soldier that doesn't
yeah,
question anything. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
I,
To hell
he,
with everything else and my brothers and my fellow soldiers and angels. It just the superior told me what to do.
he just tries. I really think
Yes.
he just try. I don't know. For me, I'm Durant. Also, too, I worked with him on a movie called Devil's Knot. And so I'm 6'3", pretty big guy. And I saw him. I was like, that's a big dude. And I rarely say that, Nate. Like, most people
Yeah,
aren't as big as you'd think. But he's like a trunk. He's like a tree trunk. That guy. He's
I
like
love
John
it.
Cena. So John Cena's not that tall, but I had to walk
He's
him
not.
once. That
Yo,
one
I
year at W, the year you first did Philly, I had to walk him to his I don't know, his table. And the guy, he's not that tall, but he looks like he's 10 yards long. I was like, what?
yeah,
This doesn't make sense. So
yeah.
I just there's very
Well,
few reactions to that.
that same year in Chicago, they made me work the WWE booth, so I got to see CM Punk again
Mm.
after my traumatizing experience in Philly that year with managing his line. But like, you're going to be in WWE. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. So it was him, and it was John Cena, and I remember coming through, and yeah, he's not a like giant, like he's not super lengthy, but yeah, that dude's thick
He's
for
like sitting
sure,
on two chairs. Like
for
he's just a
sure. Yeah,
huge guy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I just think Durant did more. And like when Paul Carl Urban does that whole come to me thing, and just he's just I don't know. There's he's
With all of the questions that were left in the movies, if they did a spin-off movie or short film on Gabriel or on Black Hat, I would probably watch the Black Hat. I feel like there would be a lot more
yeah.
things to enjoy out of that.
Well, there's cool stuff because how did he become what he is, and just the Queen thing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
Fighting against his nature as a priest and like how he like, became just like okay and accepting of what he was and where the vengeance and revenge came from. Like, you let go. Yeah, okay. Like, come on now. We're
so
fighting a war.
where
People die.
where did
Well,
you find
hold it against
strawberries
the
and pomegranates? Like that's why I want to know about him. Like where did you find fresh
He's a
strawberries?
resourceful vampire.
When I mean Lily Collins, like Emily in Paris is in this movie, and he's like, you got to feast, and there's fresh grapes, there's fresh strawberries, there's fresh pomegranate. I'm like,
There's duck.
that's the most unbelievable thing of the movie. Like I get the chickens that the familiars are eating, but you're not getting fresh strawberries from anywhere.
I'll tell you the most unbelievable thing for me in the movie. You have the stronghold of the Catholic, city, the stronghold going through, and like, oh, vampires are not getting in here. Yet you have made a town that's perpetual night. The one thing that
Whoops.
can kill vampires, you've just been like, nope, we need smokestacks.
Yep, smog,
Like,
baby, smog.
I was like, okay, why not?
Yeah,
That's the most unbelievable thing for me.
that's a bozo move right there.
It
Okay, so
really, yeah.
Better Bettany, we both went with Legion. Better villains were split.
We're split. We're
Okay.
split on that one. I will go Black Hat because I don't know. I think Carl Urban in just the small amount of time he had a better presence.
So now let's go with best fight. So I think what we'll do is, I mean, there's some good train fighting on there. There's some good familiar fighting. Bettany wipes the floor with people, but I really like the fight in Legion between Gabriel and Michael. I just
Hmm.
I like the spinning mace. Like I like that Gabriel, the angel of like all angels, has a mace that just starts spinning. It's like what?
That thing is a friggin' multi-tool attachment because like yeah it like has like the things that extend from it right away. Like, he has so many clicks and cranks that he can do on it. It's like a bop it. It has so
Yeah.
many things that it can do because he goes through and he starts swinging it, and oh, okay, this is a big heavy thing, it can do some damage, and then he twists the first thing and all the spikes get larger. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's a big one, and they fight a little bit, and yeah, he hits it again, and then it starts spinning. So it's going to be a little Dremel tool, a little Dremel mace that's going through, and it's gonna rake you up. And then at the culmination of the fight, he twists it again, and it turns into a giant spear that goes through not only him, ooh, it goes through Paul Bettany too. How
And then he
many
can,
other attachments do you think that has? Do you think that has like a Phillips head and a
oh
flat head?
yeah. Oh, of course. It has those. It has a little
Absolutely.
rocket. It has
Yeah.
like some floss. There's a compass.
Does it have a toothpick?
There's a whistle. Of course it does. You can blow.
Okay,
There's a
good. I
little
just want to
whistle
make sure.
attachment in there. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
it's
that's his trumpet. We heard it.
yeah.
We heard it before. You think he just leaves that in heaven? No, it's in the
Well, yeah,
mace.
it's his trumpet, his war hump, like everything on there. Like he can ride it like a broom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just I don't know, and the fact that Michael kept trying to shoot machine guns at an immortal. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Listen, once again, I don't think it's anything close to the raid, but nothing is. But like when you go to priest, like I like when they kill the vampires, I like when they kill it. But like the problem with the priest fight, the final, it's on a train, and there's only
Hmm.
so much you can do on top of a train.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I know they're in a diner, but I'm a bigger fan of diner fights than I am of train fights.
I'll say this. If we're looking at overall the movie, like better fights in general, I'll go Priest just because you have them on the roof shooting
Oh
down onto the
yeah.
floor, or just open the door and Paul Bettany runs out with two guns who in scenes previously don't run out of ammo. And then he throws out like one flurry, then throws them down and has like two bullets per Glock. And I was like, we're getting inconsistent now. But it was all gunfighting for the most part
Hmm.
until we got to Gabriel and Michael, which was great. It was awesome. And I think it wins for the best fight between both movies. But I think if we're looking overall, just like with throwing up the Book of Blades, or taking out the Hive Guardian and being launched into the air Wonder Woman style with the two blades and going through, I think overall that had some better fights, and as quick as the one in the bar was where he took out all of like the 19 heavily armed Catholic assault cops. I think I think Priest overall had better fights altogether, but I think the best singular fight did go to Michael and Gabriel.
Okay, so I'm adding best fights into mine. I'm gonna give it to Priest. So that has changed up my rankings a little
Okay.
bit. So
Singular as opposed to plural.
yeah,
That
well,
little
like
S on there has switched it up.
because like then it goes 1 and 1 because Priest
Yeah.
definitely has better action, but the best fight goes to Legion. Now,
Yeah.
more rewatchable. I'm gonna go with Priest because nobody really annoys me in Priest. Like Cam Gigante's fine, Lily Collins fine, Maggie Q's great, Christopher Plummer's great, Paul Bettany's great. It's an 80-minute movie. You're there and back again. There's really no issues. Like that train is 14 hours ahead of them, but they catch up to them on their motorbikes and then they hang out for a little bit. Like it's so fast that you could just watch it and it's in and out. Like so we put Mallory to bed, and then before this episode I just had it on, was just breezing through it. I almost watched the whole thing. Like well, it's like where did that go? But Legion, man, like Legion, the problem with Legion, right, is Kate Walsh's character is just like, and then Charles Dutton, right? He sacrifices himself in Alien 3, Mimic, and then this. And there's just characters I don't like. And then Tyrese, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go down there. Like, that's a demon child, man. Like it's like so many
It's
bad
a trap.
decisions are
I know
so
it's a trap. I'm
like
gonna run into the trap because there's a child.
and like listen, I don't want to say that I would know what to do if angels surrounded my diner, but it's just Randy Quaid's whole speech about buying a diner that was crap. And honestly, like I like Lucas Black, but that character is nothing. He's like, this girl loves me, but I love her, but she doesn't love me, but I'm just gonna keep harassing her. And it just he's and then the whole family, like the whole thing about, oh, my daughter is like wearing all these clothes, and then it's just like it's just not real. Like, there's too many annoyances in it that just slow the movie down for me. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it, it's just very I don't know. Priest is there and back again, but Legion just has too many moments that I'm like, stop, like and not in a good way. So I think just for ease of my stress, watching Priest is much easier to watch.
Okay. It's funny you say ease of my stress, because with my choice, I'd go opposite, and here's why. No, honestly, here's why. So when you're going through with priests and they're like going, explaining like, oh, the church experimented and they gave their superhuman powers to their priests, and going through, it's like, okay, what are the powers? They don't go into it. They don't
No,
say, oh, they
never.
have this, they have that, they have that. Like you can kind of glean throughout the movie, like, oh, they have
They
superhuman
can jump.
reflexes, they have some sort of like strength enhancement, maybe a little bit of spidey sense, because Paul Bettany stops every so often, usually when a key is going into a lock and he looks over his shoulder. Something's going on there, but they don't go into exactly what their powers are. Number one. Number two, where the powers came from. Did they experiment with some vampiric blood, perhaps? Maybe. Is it sacrilegious? Maybe. but we don't get into it. Like there are so many open-ended things that you just don't know. So I think for me, at least with Legion, you're just like, I am Michael the Archangel and I'm protecting the baby. Cool. Know why you're doing what you're doing. God's upset with human beings. Angels are possessing people and killing people. Got that motivation. Like at least you know what people are set up to do, and you have
Yeah.
at least now when it gets to the end of the movie with the whole follow the instructions are tattoos. Okay, what does that mean? There should have been a sequel, apparently, because we don't know.
Well, there was a TV show called Dominion. Did you know that? That takes place years after that when
Are you
people are still,
serious? I
yeah, and
didn't know that.
there's 4 to 5 places that was on Sci-Fi, and
I didn't know that.
it got canceled. But
Oh, but
yeah,
of course it did. Of
yeah.
course it did.
But like, I have a question
Um,
though. If like, okay, so Michael's like, hey God, I didn't give God what he wanted, but I gave him what he needed. God would be
yeah,
like, okay, I'll call off the attack. So then why? So presumably millions of people died, right? Billions.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, I don't know. Probably half a billion. Let's say half a billion people.
like that would so okay, so then there's no more demons on earth, right? There's no more angels on earth because God recalled them back.
Correct. But
So
they're
then
probably in a Mad Max society where they're fighting for resources and we don't have the nuclear power plants anymore. So we got to figure out it's a why the last man situation, right?
oh, so maybe during those attacks nuclear things blew up or attacks were made or a demon
Perhaps
like
resources are not what they once were. You know, the Twinkie factories aren't functioning at full capacity anymore.
why did no one in the diner turn into a demon?
That is a wonderful, perfect question.
Well,
And it could even be say that proximity to the child, because once the baby was born and it started crying, and everyone's like, oh, my angelic ears. Like they couldn't handle it. It could have been proximity to the baby.
what's a much better siege thriller is Demon Knight. That movie makes a lot of sense with Bill Sadler and the blood and Billy Zane, and people get turned inside of the place. Oh man, I forgot about Demon Knight. That's a wonderful siege thriller. But yeah, sorry.
Next
I digress.
episode.
I
Mark it
digress.
down. Next episode.
I digress. Norbert and I covered it. It's wonderful, wonderful movie. But yeah, it's
Previous episode. Mark it down. Previous episode.
yeah, just I don't know. There's just I would much I could just hang out and watch Priest, but maybe I'm just a big Maggie Q fan. Like it's
I
just
mean, yeah, very, very well. And I think that, yeah, the sheriff just rubs me wrong. Everything, like everything about, and again, stress levels, right?
oh
Your
Cam
stress
Gigante.
levels. Oh, dude, what is that? How good are you with a gun? Better than a knife. You're terrible with a gun. Every time you shoot the gun, other than the time that the hive guardian stands up and you're super proud of yourself because you saw him stand up, you're like, his head's gonna be there. He doesn't hit anything else with a weapon other than the shotgun. Sometimes he hits the ceiling of the train car, but he doesn't hit any vampire.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, there are certain characters like that one that like they set him up to be such a badass, like, oh, I could split a bullet with my knife. I'm better with a gun than I am a knife. You're terrible with a gun. I don't know. That's just that stuff. I would get so upset and annoyed
You got
with
to go
him.
A to B.
The
You got to go
fact
A
that
to
they don't
B.
go into other stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. So
Uh,
we're split there. We're split for rewatchability. Now
I love it.
let's go to better supporting killer characters. So
Okay.
I can't do Legion. I just can't do it. There's like so okay. So Adrian Palicki, her Charlie character, she's pregnant. That's totally fine. She's gonna give it up for adoption. That's great. The Dennis Quaid's like she's promiscuous, and then they're
She
like, oh
sleeps with everyone that comes with her. You're an idiot for being in love with her.
yeah, and
Grow
then
up.
yeah, Jake Black. Wow, what? Just so, but like, okay, so and also Charlie does that really bland narration that I hate in post. You know why I love
At
Love
the
and Monsters?
beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So
Why was it the same thing at the beginning and the end? Like
uh,
some movies, some comic books, there is when I rewatched the movie, I was like, this doesn't fit at the end. Why are they doing the exact same thing? Or if she's gonna say it, at least change up the end line. Like I've been through it, I know it. Like change it up. There's a when I first started to get back into comic books, there's a series called Warblade Razor's Edge, which I freaking love. It's wonderful, but every issue, it's like a 6 issue miniseries. Every issue starts with the same line, ends with the same line, but with what happens at the beginning and the end is so drastic, but it fits every single time. When you do that, that works wonderfully. But yeah,
hmm,
this one I was just like, why are we why are you repeating the same thing at the beginning? You just want to have a shot of guns in the back seat of your station wagon, like to just so you can say bullshit and sound like a badass. Like
And why is
I
she giving?
don't
Why is she smoking cigarettes? Like it's
yeah.
it. Why couldn't Charlie just been cool? Like why? Like why? Well, I don't know why she had to be this skulky, wildly promiscuous cigarette. Like none of this is bad. I'm just saying, like why? Why the cigarettes? That's my problem with Legion. There's look, but there's
Because
no
she didn't even want the
like
baby, Mark. She
it,
couldn't go through with the abortion. She can at least smoke a cigarette or two.
and mess it up for the adopted family. And it's
Yeah,
just
there you
it's
go.
it's just kind of like, but you don't need like none of that's necessary in the script, right? None of it.
Yeah.
None of Jeep's ringer t-shirts are necessary because I used to wear ringer t-shirts all the time. But I just think like and then like the whole Kate Walsh thing, she's the classic tied up character. And like I feel bad for Audrey. Like Audrey comes through, then they just like she gets killed. And like, where'd she go? I don't know. So I just I don't know. And then Charles S. Dutton just sacrifice. It's Randy Quaid so grumpy, or Dennis Quaid, or Randy. Yeah, Randy. No, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis. It's
And
Dennis.
it's just man. There's just and like I love Tyrese and like he's cool in it, but then he's like I'm gonna go sacrifice myself. And you're like no, don't sacrifice. And then you know what I love too? Michael's like if you go down there, they're dead. Then Michael goes out there and just wipes them out easily. And it's just I don't know. I just
Well,
like
yeah, I mean, you did you listen to the dialogue? If you go out there,
you're dead.
you're dead. If I go out
And I just don't get it. Like and then but I mean Priest, like I think Maggie Q's hilarious. Oh, I figure when your wife died, you're not gonna hook up. Black Hat, like he's just so nondescript. You get a few other priests, you get Christopher Plummer popping up. And I actually really like a couple of those actors who
dude, for a
played
second,
the
I thought that
familiars were good.
for a
The
second, I thought that Christopher Plummer was the same. I thought that he and Max Van Sydow were because I made the joke. I was like, "Oh,
oh yeah, from Judge Dredd.
Catholic Jesuit." I was like, "Is that the same guy?" I had to go look it up, and I was like, "Oh, but it's close. It's pretty."
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer, Max Von Sydow, they're pretty there. But yeah, I was just like, I thought it was the same dude.
And like you had Stephen Moyer from True Blood, you had Cam Gigante
Yeah,
from Twilight.
yeah.
Yeah, just I just think it was a I don't none of them. I know Hicks, the sheriff, annoyed you, but I don't know why Charlie like. There's no reason for Charlie to smoke. Like, there's just no reason. Like, I just Assault on Precinct 13, wonderful movie. It works because there's just good people in there. You have some prisoners and cops, whatever. They're great. Like you have From Dusk Till Dawn. They're all scumbags, dog soldiers. You like all the soldiers that are involved. The Mist, you have some very frustrating characters, but they're Stephen King frustrating characters. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like Prince of Darkness, you liked a lot of the people inside. Like I know Night of the Living Dead has some annoying characters, but it still works in context of the film and of the era. But
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get behind the supporting characters in Legion. And the priest wins by just being less annoying.
I'll agree with you on that one. Just with how much we've discussed going into it, because it's hard to vote against Charles S. Dutton. It's hard to vote against Dennis Quaid, but Dennis Quaid did hardly anything in that movie. I would base my vote on it solely on Charles S. Dutton because he at least did the most and had the most impact and the best lines and went out like a boss with like
No, he went down like a chump.
sacrificing himself for someone else, which is very in true with the monologue he just did the night before about like if you don't feel like if you go to bed and you go to pass away tonight and you meet your maker, like are you going to be proud of what you did? And he can say that right away with just like that thing, saving someone else's life. But yeah, I think overall, just with the characters, what they had set up, not being as annoying and being as helpful as they were, yeah, Priest is probably will probably come out on top of that one. So no split on that one, Mark.
Hey, and listen, like Charles S. Dutton saves Sandra, but then Sandra just gets shot in the head later by Michael. So it's just, I don't know. So yeah, I'm preaching to the choir. So I'm preaching to the choir here.
Priest into
Okay.
the choir.
When we go to best kill, I am definitely going to give that to Priest, and it's the scene where they kill the hive guard because I'm not. So there's a hive guard and they're battling, and I don't know what's happening here, but this is when the powers get really weird because Maggie Q's character, Priestess, takes her name's called Priestess. She could just, I don't know, but She takes 2 rocks, right? Throws these rocks probably 70, 80 miles an hour. And each rock is probably
Not even
10,
heavy, not
yeah,
heavy rocks, just like not pebbles,
10
not
pounds each,
boulders.
maybe.
Yeah, not even, I wouldn't even say they're stones. Stones, much larger. Yeah, they're rocks.
Just
They're
throws
not
these
skipping
rocks,
rocks.
and Paul Bettany jumps in the air and apparently jumps on one of the rocks and gets enough propulsion to take himself to the second rock, which he then jumps in the air and cuts the hive guard's stomach wide open, and it falls perfectly between Priestess's legs, which happens in Legion as well when the old lady falls between Jeep's legs as well.
Yeah.
Same shot. They don't
Oh
even
yeah.
kill it. Hicks comes up, has to shoot it in the head. But of all the kills,
Point A to point
point,
B, baby.
I mean, that thing was just point A. Like he's just,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. There's no,
you
it
just
stood up
pointed.
and you, yeah, it stood up and you pulled the trigger.
You pointed
Uh,
your gun at one side.
yeah, exactly.
And but it's it's silly, and it's
Should we break down the physics on this? Because here's what, like, yeah, when I saw it first, I was like, this is just a double jump from, Devil May Cry. Like, why did we need rocks? Why do we have to add rocks in this equation? But if we're, breaking it down like we need to for the people for the naysayers that may say what I'm about to say right now, if you're throwing a rock at 70, 80 miles per hour, like Priestess may have been doing, and they're just perfectly leveled out, if they're going one direction at that velocity, and Paul Bettany is pushing down against that speed with his beautiful foot and pushes force against to it in equal amounts or more amounts, would that then give him the equivalent of a step? And then if he times it enough with that other one and just like, bam, you know, is that going to happen? Is that in our Catholic Judge Dredd physics?
but he had
That's
to catch up to those rocks, did he not?
Did he jump and did she throw at the same time? Was that
See, I should have taken. I had those are in my notes, but I'm pretty sure. I think they're simultaneous. No, it doesn't. No, she's like, "Hey, man, go get these," and then he jumps and then catches both of them. But either way, it has
how many
personality.
times have they practiced that technique? How many times have they used it in
Oh,
battle?
that could be in preschool, like
It,
priest battle school.
when I went to preschool, my favorite my favorite activity was the rock.
Well, you're not doing
It,
like theology. You're doing like it's like a boot camp.
yeah,
It's like a priest camp.
yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. And but listen, and also too that there is a really cool moment in the beginning when it's animated when a vampire just runs through a soldier and just obliterates the thing into about 40 different pieces. And also I love when Priestess blows up a familiar into about 43 different pieces and then she just stands there while every little piece misses her. They must
Was that the
practice that too.
motorcycle when she
Yeah.
does the? Oh yeah, no, that
Yeah.
was, I think, beyond the priest guard or the hive guard. I think the motorcycle fight was my favorite, just because she had that, and it may be because I love characters like Ghost Rider and things like that, or Yondu, where they just like things are just like like going around. I think that probably beats it. But yeah, with looking at what was the best kill in Legion? Like what was it? Wasn't even. I'll tell you what it is, and it's not even a kill.
The upside down guy who explodes.
No, it's when Dennis Quaid lights the freaking gas
Yeah.
line. That's the best. That's the best one. It doesn't even kill. Well, it kills a lot of officers in the
Stationary
Heaven
demons.
Army. Yeah, but it doesn't take out the one person it was supposed to. I don't know. So best fight or best kill?
Kill. The kill's
Best kill.
definitely priest. It
Yeah, I think, yeah, kill goes priest, because otherwise it's just them firing however many rounds into a group of people that are just standing there.
and okay, so we decided on that. We got best
Yes.
kill going to priest. Now best
Oh yeah.
line, best line. And
Best line. Okay.
this has to go to Legion because there's a scene where Bob Hansen goes, this is crazy, right? I mean, I don't even believe in God. And then Michael looks at him and goes, well, that's just fine, Bob.
That's fine, Bob. He doesn't believe in you.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in you either. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like when you throw in the person's name in a sentence,
Oh yeah.
it gets real. Like Nathan, you heard what I said. Not just, hey, you heard what I said. Well, like, Nathan, you heard what I said, or you heard what I said, Nathan.
Nathan.
Like,
Whoa, why are you coming at me so strong?
I just, well,
Yeah.
that's just fine, Bob. And also Kyle, played by Tyrese, he's like, how am I supposed to know? You're asking me to explain the behavior of a mother effing pestilence?
I think overall, yeah, that like as great and as cheesy as the point A meet effing point B, I was like, okay, it's lessened by the fact that the thing just stood up and he shot it. But there are other ones. Charles S. Dutton is just like, these aren't our regular customers
Yeah.
or things like that. Like, yeah, there are plenty of others. Now
Who
I
the
will
F is this old lady? That's what
exactly.
Kyle
I will
yells.
say this: Dennis Quaid at the end, but when he's about to light the gas line, where we're out of business. I was like, that could have been a little better. Like you could have worked the shot that a little bit, like we're closed. Just like a little bit more. Like you have you could have Schwarzeneggered it a little bit more. You're fired. Just something real
Whoa.
concise and small. But we're out of business. They're like, sorry, kitchen's closed. That would have been better. Kitchen's closed. Bah! We're out of
Oh.
business. I was like, why you gotta be so formal, Dennis Quaid? Bob, come on, just say, or even, yeah,
You
steal a
go.
Schwarzenegger. You're fired.
Oh man. And you know, during the movie, they're trying to watch It's a Wonderful Life about an angel who has
Mm,
no wings.
yeah.
So that'd be funny if he's like, "It is a wonderful life," and then he just blows up Kevin Durand, and you're like, "Man, that was a lot." But I like you're fired, or
Yeah.
meals up,
I think kitchen's
ticket.
closed would
Yeah,
have been best.
kitchen's closed. Boom.
Sorry, were you hungry?
Yeah.
Kitchen's closed.
Here's your burger and an explosion. Oh, there we go, Nathan.
Order up would have been good
Yeah.
too.
Order
Yeah.
up
Order up. Bam.
cheeseburger with a side of fries and an
Yeah.
explosion. There it is. Okay. So we've done the
Yeah.
best line. Now
Absolutely. Yeah. Legion wins.
I'm gonna
Legion
do
wins.
best opening narration or story, and I'm gonna read them to you, kind of how they
Ooh.
read them. You ready for this?
Bring it on.
When I was a little girl, my mother would remind me
I
each night
can't. I
before,
can't let. I can't even let you finish it.
because it's so. That's why I love Love and Monsters. It's a very peppy narration. Like it's a post-apocalyptic world, but
Okay.
the
Do
okay, here we
do
go.
you want to finish? I'll turn my
Okay,
mic
here we
off
go.
so you can
Okay,
finish the narration.
here we go. When I was a little girl. Sorry. Okay. Okay. When I was a little girl, my mother would remind me each night before bed to be sure to open my heart to God, for he was kind, merciful, and just. Things just changed after my father left a few years later, leaving her to raise me and my brothers alone in a little piece on the edge of the Mojave Desert. She never talked about a kind and merciful God again. Instead, she spoke of a prophecy, of a time when all the world would be covered in darkness and the fate of mankind would be decided. One night, I finally got up the courage to ask my mother why God had changed. Why was he mad at his children? I don't know, she said, tucking the covers around me. I guess he just got tired of all the
Tired of all
bullshit.
the bullshit.
Okay. And then here we go. And then this is from Priest. I had to read it very monotone
Oh,
because
I
it's like
know. I know.
I hate monotone narration. Okay, this is one of from Priest, and this is much more boisterous. This is what is known. There's always been man, and there's always been vampires. Since the beginning, the two have been locked in conflict. The vampire was a hunter and stronger, but the man had the sun. It was not enough, and so it went like this over many years. Two races destroying not only each other, but the world itself. Faced against extinction, mankind has retreated behind the walls of cities under the protection of the church. And then the ultimate weapon was found: the priests, warriors with extraordinary powers, trained by the church at the art of vampire combat. They alone turned the tide to man. The remaining vampires were placed in reservations, and fearing of the power of the weapon they created, the ruling clerics ordered the priests to disband. Former warriors integrated into a society that no longer needed them. And as the years passed, a few surviving priests faded into obscurity, like the vampire mask before them. So yeah, those are the two narrations.
All
And
right.
you know what's
I
funny?
have to ask you a question.
Yeah,
I have to. Why were the vampires placed in reservations? Why wouldn't you just kill the vampires?
yeah, it's
I didn't even think of that the first time. I was like, why the reservations?
yeah, it's
Like they're
uh,
not Native Americans. They weren't there first. Like just they're a threat. They're
yeah.
the thing against God. They're evil. Take them out.
And you know what's crazy? The director himself even said that these, it's like, even if they were trying to make a parallel between, the reservations in the United States, Canada, around the
Yeah.
world, the director even said, like, yeah, the vampires aren't metaphors for anything. He's like, they're just vampires. And he's like, I wanted my priests to be like Vietnam warriors who came home and everyone's like, oh, they suck. And it's like, yeah. So even though they said that, like, they placed them on this, and like, even the religion doesn't even work on the vampires when they have the crosses. Like
Yeah.
the crosses are just weapons. Like they don't even need to be crosses. They could be ninja stars. I don't know,
Yeah.
stars. So there's no metaphor for anything in Priest. Like there's no, hey, the church was wrong. Like, you know what? Is the church even wrong in these movies? Like they're trying to deny the existence of vampires, which maybe could say more, but they're just like, there's no like metaphor. I'm sorry, I keep saying this, but there's no like metaphors. There's no parallels. There's no analogies. It's just we had these priests. They killed a lot of people. Then we're like, hey, we don't need you anymore because we stuffed vampires out of sight, out of mind, with like 3 guards.
Yeah,
It's
why
cool.
were the pre there again? So many questions in pre. Why were the priests shunned? Like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. Thanks for your service, but like, and that leads me to believe, and I would love to find the graphic novels it was based off on and actually read it and see if it's answered. But when they're like, oh, we've experimented and given these priests powers of their own, they experimented with vampire blood.
Yeah,
You know it. Why else would they shun these people? And why else would they just be like, oh, priests bad, stay out of here, do this, but we're gonna let's it's the fight fire with fire thing, right?
and
Like you have to.
what's crazy? The vampires in these movies aren't even made to be good.
Yeah.
So this was a very necessary war apparently, and then it's all ideas. The writer of the original comic said that he's like, yeah, the visuals were great, but the theology was terrible. Like I wish they would have done more. So yeah,
Yeah.
but so as far as opening narration, I got to give it to Priest because
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's yeah, absolutely.
okay, and then we'll finish up. We can't be too. I don't want to keep you all night, but we'll do Better Brothers, which is Legion or Priest, because Priest has a brother
Yep. Oh yeah.
played by Stephen Moyer, or then we have Gabriel and Michael. And I mean, I just love the whole like Priest had a kid and he came to him late, and then he gave like the woman ended up marrying his brother, then he gave them a home, and then she died, and then Priestess is like, hey man. But then I don't know, I just like just the epicness between Gabriel and Michael. I don't know. I like that they're talking in heaven with like a bunch of black plastic sheets flying in the background. But no,
Hey, that was God's home. You
yeah,
respect. You give some freaking
but I'm
respect.
gonna give that to Legion because
I'll give it to Legion too, even if it's just like not talking about just like brothers, but even brothers in arms. If you're talking about Paul Bettany and then Carl Urban, just because they didn't have as much of a like, even though they're, oh, we fought together and you left me, there wasn't as much of a bond or like a history that they went into it. That at least with Michael and Gabriel, you got all that going into it and seeing the struggle they both had with fighting each other and eventually, killing the other person and going through and showing mercy to the other person. Like you could definitely tell the relationship and the bond better in Legion between Michael and Gabriel than you could with Priest and Black Hat. 100%. Yep, I
100%.
agree.
Okay, great. Last one, and then we're gonna tally up the scores.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've lost count. Listeners, do you know?
So here we go. Better tattoos.
Okay.
So better. So I got to give it to Priest because the Legion tattoos are too from dusk till dawn. They're too like, hey, I got these cool tattoos. But the ones in Priest are just like, listen, I got a cross on my forehead. Like that's how. That's I don't know. I feel like that's pretty extreme, and it's not meant to be cool. It's just more of like this is what my order is, not like cool Sanskrit on my arm spread around
But
that
you
magically
don't know what those
disappears.
instructions mean, Mark, nor do we, because the movie didn't go into it.
You know what I hate too? It's like, hey, here are some instructions for how to save the world. But these tattoos are going to wrap all around your body, and they're going to be a bunch of gobbledygook that you got to gobbledygook,
Gobble
go,
dee gook.
gobbledygook
There
that
you
you have
go.
to figure out. It's not just
You
like,
have
hey,
to find
man,
the prophets. Where do I find the
yeah,
prophets? We don't know. Guess we'll have to wait till the sequel.
hey, drive
Just
to
kidding.
Phoenix, drive to Phoenix, take a left.
Yeah.
Like it. So for me, I like the simplicity of Priest. So I'm going to say that. What are you going to do?
I'm trying to think if there are any other tattoos other than Michael/Jeep's tattoos that I could say, ah. I could nedry you and go,
Oh
but
no.
I don't think there were. Well, here I think. Well, let's break it down this way too. With Priest, the tattoos were almost kind of like a scarlet letter or like a burden or
Yeah.
something that was so identifiable that they got, shat upon almost or just like shunned. So does that make it better or worse? Hmm. You know
Well,
what? Here's the other thing I want to say. Even if Legion was gobbledygook, there were plenty of moments and shots in Priest where I was looking at the tattoo and I was like, okay, is it supposed to be just like the straight line and then things going on? But like on the sides, it almost looked like they were supposed to be like points at the bottoms or like the edges of the corners, but they looked like not they didn't look symmetrical, and it bugged the hell out of me because I was like, is it supposed to be? And so a lot of the movie I was going through is like, is it supposed to be a straight line? Is it supposed to be this? Is it going through? Is this what is it? And at least with Legion, like Michael, it was that like kind of identifying character for him being an archangel or whatever he was. It was on him. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool and interesting. And then being passed on to Jeep, at least it was a continuing story and there was something meant by it for like a greater purpose. So I'm gonna say just in the essence of this is a good thing, this is kind of a crappy thing being priest because people just look at him and go, and spit on him. You're a priest. Don't talk. No, honey, you can't talk to the priest in the elevator. Don't say that, young child. Don't talk to the
they only
man
saved
who's
our world.
only saved our existence. Yeah, so I'm gonna go Legion just for that.
Okay. So then, okay, so I'm gonna tally it up. So you have better Bettany as Legion, better movie. You said Legion or Priest. No, you said which one did you say? Legion or Priest? Better
We're
movie.
gonna have to listen to the episode again. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Well, tell me now. What do you think? Priest or Legion? Better
Legion.
movie. Okay. Now, better villain, Legion or Priest? Oh, Priest. Best fight goes to Legion. Best action scenes go to Priest. More watchable is Legion. Better supporting characters. Who'd you give that to?
I gave that to. I think I gave that one to. I think I gave that one to Priest.
Okay. Now, more, let's see. Best kill. Which one? You to Priest?
Best kill is Priest. Yeah.
Okay. Best line goes to Legion. Better brother goes to Legion. Better tattoos.
And I said Priest on that one. Or no, I said Legion on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you have, let's see. That means you have, let's see, you went priest. So
I
it's a
think I did.
tie.
I think I did Priest 7 and or Legion 7, Priest 5.
So I had priest 7. So you had, so I have 11 categories I learned. We each, I did priest 7, Legion 4. You did Legion 7, priest 4.
How dare we go evenly against this? You know what this means? It's up to you, dear listeners. You are the final deciding factor.
Listen,
Log on to www.moviesfilms. I don't even know if there's a
yeah,
website.
no, please message us.
Yeah, do it. We should do that. Let's keep a running tally. You can follow the tally on Movies, Films, and Flicks on Facebook. Follow the Facebook, not only for the tally, but also for the wonderful tournaments that Mark likes to run. What tournaments are we doing right now? It's the swimming pool tournament
Oh, the
and
anniversary
then the
one. Yeah.
anniversary tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have, I'm going to do R-rated rom-coms and action movies.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's wow, this is crazy. So we tied. We're exactly, it's yeah, this it's 11-11. That's yeah, we're right down the middle on this one. But
As well it should be, right? I mean, because
yeah.
we're talking about like how close it was on the tomato meter and the IMDb scores, and it's kind of a toss up. So I think we achieved our goal. We're right on the money with how we began is how we ended,
Oh,
just like in Legion.
this is an amazing question, Nathan, for you.
Oh, bring it on.
You have a group of 50 people, and
Okay.
these 50 people, like you have to show them, you have to recommend either priest or legion to them, and this is going to make them decide about what your taste in, if your taste in movies is any good. Like you're going to give them one. Which
Ooh.
one would you give a group of 50 people to watch and be like, listen, this is the case, blah 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 blah. Like which, like, but like which one do you think would get a, like, people are like, man, he made me watch Legion, I hate him, or he made me watch Priest, I hate him. Like which one, if you had to base your entire reputation as a movie lover on, would you back?
You know what? I think if I picked one and you picked one, we'd have the same amount of people that hate us and love us. So I think that's an unfair question. I think that's an unfair question.
Yeah, it would be split, right?
It would. It really would because because there are defining things about Priest that you're like, that was enjoyable. I like that. And also like, why did it end that way? And I want more answers, blah, blah, blah. And people that would watch Legion be like, that was a good, nice, little movie here. I got my questions answered, but I wish there was more of this. It's a toss up. I don't know if we could do that. You know what? I
Well,
I'm gonna go on my social media and I'm gonna ask the first 50 people which movie, and I'll get back to you.
and you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy too, Nathan, is Priest made more money with $78.3 million worldwide. Legion made 67.9. So you would give Priest the point. However, the return on investment was better for Legion.
Yeah.
So then we're tied again.
It's an unwinnable battle, Mark. You know what? You know what we should do? Next con that you and I go to, that Paul Bettany is at, we can ask him just right off, just face to face, Mr. Bettany. We have a very important question to ask you. We need to know which is a better movie, Priest or Legion, and whatever he says goes.
Yep. Well, just like, which do you prefer? So I saw him at Dragon Con, but it was during the actor strike. So he just ended up talking about cheese a lot. Everyone just kept sending him questions about cheese.
There you
And
go.
then it like spiraled out of control. And then he started talking about his butt in a night's tale and how he didn't want to wear a sock over his priest or his legion. I don't know.
Member
Whatever. Yeah, his
after
member.
his Legion, that
Yeah.
works better.
And so yeah, he didn't want to talk. But yeah, a lot of cheese talk. Is there any cheese in? No, there's no cheese in these movies
There's
because
no cheese other than parts in the script and dialogue, but other than that, it's pretty,
which movie's
pretty standard.
cheesier, Legion or Priest?
Oh God. Again, I think it's a toss-up. You keep asking these questions, Mark, and we can't answer them. It can go either way. It's Sophie's choice, okay?
I've waited 8 years and we can't decide a winner.
Again, here we go, listeners. It's up to you.
Uh,
Go on to Movies, Films, and Flicks at Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want. Mark will post all these things. He'll pin it. That's how important it is. We want to know.
so I'm before this episode comes out, I'm just like, hey y'all, just do me a favor when you listen to this episode, and you just message me and tell me whether you prefer Priest or Legion, and Nathan and I will come back and
Oh, that'd be
read the
awesome.
results.
And leave like big long comments and reasonings, because we can sit there and read them off just like the Twitter responses on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Like,
So
I listened to the episode. Nathan, what the hell were you thinking? You thought that this was better than this? You moron.
I can't believe
Absolutely.
I can't believe we tied though. I have 7-4 and you have 7-4.
That's hilarious. You know what? We couldn't have planned it better.
No.
No.
No. So I do a lot of planning for these episodes, but I don't plan the structure. So it's like
Especially with us. We go
it's
off the
organized.
rails
It's
all the
organized
time.
chaos. But our Soho
Absolutely.
episode though, like we did a lot of research, but
Yeah.
sometimes we only use 10% of it. But I'd rather be the guy who used 10% of my research than the guy who doesn't have any, if that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly. Yep.
But hey, man, this was wonderful. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
where can people find you before we get out of here?
People can find me
At a diner outside the Mojave
at a
Desert.
diner outside. They can find me at my house, being in the time suck that is Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment, because I'm a huge D&D nerd, and this scratches the itch for when I can't get a in-person team together. No, I'm on what was once Twitter, now X. If you want to find me on PlayStation Network, it's honorary GL. If you just like, I'm gonna play Aliens Fireteam Elite with this guy in this podcast that I really like to listen to him talk about Legion. Yeah, we'll shoot up some xenomorphs. It'll be awesome. You can find me in person at certain Galaxy cons around the nation. I've been working those in person, shepherding the nerds, making sure the celebrities and comics guests are happy, only occasionally calling security on the irate attendee or the irresponsible or unforgiving attendee. But yeah, that's me, man. Or you can just find me commenting on Mark's stuff on X and Facebook, and vote for my team in the upcoming tournaments. Nathan L. Don't talk about any of those other Nathans. This is gonna be Nathan L, the winner, baby. That's me. What's my anniversary tournament's pretty good. I got the Exorcist in there. We love The Exorcist. I've got
One thing I'm
Jurassic.
worried about though is it was for 2024, not 2023.
Now, hang on. You posted the tournament rules in 2023. So that's going to mess some things up
Wait,
for you, I think.
oh, oh, I know I said 2024. All right, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
But,
this is going to be, anyways, regardless of the team. You know what? I'm not even going to change the team.
oh wait,
This
I put the name of the tournament's the 2024 anniversary movie tournament.
Well, you know what? Apparently, just like in this episode, I don't come prepared. I just run into it and say, "Here you go," which some people may love.
And you
Uh,
spent a lot of time on it too,
I
which
spent a lot of time on it, which is great. Yeah, no, honorary GL. You can find my miniature painting and the recently acquired comic books that I like to post on there for my own pride and uh, ha ha the Nelson ha ha's from Simpson that I got it, you don't. But yeah. Yeah, and go back in any of the earlier episodes. If you're new to movies, films, and flicks, and you liked Mark and I bantering and going back and forth and just being overall dum dums,
for
yeah,
years.
for years. Yeah, go back and watch our or listen to our Elias Koteas trilogy with Prophecy and Fallen and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can listen to our final fights with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe. You can listen to our Yautja versus Ewok episode, which is going to become a cult classic. Even our Bloodsport conspiracy theory.
Two of
This
the most popular
go back
2023
and listen
episodes.
to it. Yeah, if you want to hear Mark and I banter more, there you go, and more to come in the future. What's one you think we should do, Mark, coming
Well,
up here?
I picked this one, so you get one now.
Oh Lord Almighty, don't put that on me. All right, we'll get a good one for you, listeners. If you have any ideas, say I love this movie. Please rant and rave and be dumb about this one. I'm open to
Oh
ideas.
wait, in our Royal Rumble episode.
Oh God, our Royal Rumble episode. If you don't know, and Royal Rumble, isn't that wrestling? Well, yes and no. We chose 30 action stars from different movies over the ages. From let's see, there was God, who all was in there?
That was a long time ago. It's
That
like
was like
AK.
months ago. We have kids. We don't remember anything.
Mm-mm.
There was yeah, people from the Raid. There are people from Prey. There are people from Dolph Lundgren was in there, I think, once or twice in different characters. Yeah, it's great and stupid and dumb and yeah, fun stuff. Just listen to all the episodes, folks. Come on now. You know
That's a good one. But hey,
there you go.
this was awesome, man, and I'm honored that you spend your time chatting with me during these. So I
It's
appreciate it.
it's always fun, man. You and I have always gotten along in our con days and just had interesting conversations. And it's fun talking about these things and just riffing off each other and being dumb. I enjoy it. How else to spend a Thursday night? Come on, Mark. My
And,
kids are in bed. What else am I gonna do?
and I've also seen Nathan do some wonderful falls in like 2011.
Shut the hell up.
All right.
That
Well, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Nathan Lay, this is
that's
Movie Films and
me.
Flicks. We'll see you next week.